In our previous video, we saw how we could do a transformation of a simple camel message. In this video, we're going to beef that up a little bit by putting, instead of just a simple string on a queue, we're going to put some JSON on a queue. Now, we have a head start because if you remember several videos ago, we made a servlet that produces JSON. So we're going to borrow a lot of this. I'm going to grab the print writer. This is a servlet where you can, in other words, you can search on a plant. It will return your search results in JSON format. So that's similar to what we want to do, but instead of searching for a series of plants, we only need to write one plant. So I'm going to copy the guts of this method, and I'm going to go to our add plant. And I'm going to need to butcher it up a little bit, but nonetheless, add plant is the page that is the class that our page calls, and then it further on calls something called plant service, which is this guy right here. So plant service is what actually is going to do the work. So I scroll down and we see there's a save method here where we're saving a plant. Line 61 saves to the database, line 62 saves to the queue. So let's take a look in this submit method, and we see that this is going to do a little bit of magic to take the plant and essentially convert it to a string, create a text message out of that, and put that onto the queue. Now, this is a dumb string. It's just genus, species, cultivar, common. There's not much intelligence to it. So let's change things up a bit. I'm going to say string, and then we'll say queue plant equals, and then just empty string for the moment. We're going to eventually save our plant into this thing called queue plant. Okay, now I'm going to paste that big chunk from our servlet, and I'm going to clean things up a little bit. Okay, first of all, print writer, let's hold this thought for just a moment. As a matter of fact, let's go ahead and remove, just for the moment, we're going to comment out some of these references, because I don't think we'll remove them. That's okay. I don't think we're going to need them. Okay, we have a root builder, and then we have an array builder. I don't think we're going to need all that either. I think we're just going to need this little plant builder right here. I'm going to go ahead and cut a little more of this out. Okay. And finally, what we end up with is a little nugget here that's going to build some plant JSON. So plantbuilder.addGenus, it's going to call getGenus, then species, get species, common, get common, cultivar, get cultivar, and then build. So, and again, if this is, I'm going over this a little bit quickly because we covered it in a previous video. So if you're curious, just search my channel for the full stack Java development and look for the JSON videos, and we'll go over how we actually build this. Now, instead of plant.toString, let's try plant.json.toString. And in hindsight, I didn't need this little queue plant guy after all. A little Control-Shift-F to organize the file in Eclipse, make it look a little bit neater. And finally, we'll save. Now, just as a proof of concept, I went ahead and compiled, restarted the server, and submitted Dwarf Fothergilla. Let's take a look at what the email looks like now. We still have this header email, and take a look. It contains JSON. Now, JSON's not going to make a whole lot of sense to your mom or dad, and so it's not going to be a good email format. We want to format this a little bit better, so we need to do some work in our transformation to read in the JSON and parse it. For this, I'm going to go back to our plant email transformer, and for reading JSON, what I'm going to do is use a library that I've used before in a previous video, which is the org.json library. So I simply need to go find that. I need to go find the Maven dependency and add it to my POM. Quick search brings us here. I will go ahead and grab this. Yeah, honestly, that one looks pretty popular. I guess it doesn't really matter. So I'll go ahead and grab this guy and the dependency copy. And then we'll go to our POM XML for the enterprise integration. Paste towards the bottom of our dependencies, so clean the file up a little bit, save, Control M, and then do a Maven update. And with that done, we're going to return to our transformer. So I'm going to say We'll leave that where it is for the moment. And I'm going to say if message is not equal to null and message is empty. I know if you're watching this video, you might say, oh, there's a better way to do it. Everybody has a different way to check for emptiness. Of course, I do need to negate the message is empty. Just make sure we have something valuable. So open curly, close curly. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to declare a new return string, just a moment up here, string, return string, equals blah, blah. And that allows me to separate the incoming message from the outgoing message. So I'll say return email plus return string. Almost there. Okay, now, since I emailed myself, I'm actually kind of happy because we can take a look at that JSON structure. And we see this is as simple as it gets. Again, if you want complicated JSON and walking a hierarchy, I have videos on that, but that's not the focus of this video. This focus is passing structured data through Camel. So what we see is that curlies indicate an object, and within that we have a series of name-value pairs. So genus, species, common, and cultivar are the name-value pairs that we have. So once we have this message string, what I'm going to do is say JSON object, all uppercase, and then we'll say plant, that's fine, doesn't really matter, equals new JSON object, and we need to pass in the string for it to parse, which is going to be message. So by passing in the message, it's going to transform the string. Okay, Control-Shift-O, organize imports. We're going to have several options come up here. The one that we want is org.json, which is the Maven dependency that we imported. So we grab the org.json, and now we're going to say plant.getString. Oh, just a moment. And we're going to pass in the name from our name value pairs, so genus. And I'm going to repeat this with species, cultivar, and common. So just a little copy-paste magic here. So genus, species, cultivar, and common. Okay, and then we'll do our control1 friend here, which will assign to new local variable. We'll call this one genus. And the next one, we'll control1 and we'll call it species. And my IDE is going a little bit slowly, so I'm going to pause the video and finish this up so you don't have to wait through it. Now what I need to do is I need to put all these together. I'm going to use a string builder. So we'll say string builder SB equals new string builder. An efficient way of putting together multiple strings. So we'll say SB.append, and I'm going to put the label genus, and then a space, a colon and a space, and then .append. And then the variable genus. And again, my IDE is going a little bit slowly, so in just a moment I'm going to pause the video and continue to build this out. Append, and let's go ahead and put in a new line character, and append. You see, as soon as I threaten it with pausing the video, it starts getting faster. Species, okay, and append, and species. And then we'll do append again. And the new line character. And I'm going to hit enter so we can go to a new line here because we're starting to get pretty long. Append, and we'll say cultivar. Okay, and we'll keep going with this process. Append, and then the variable cultivar. And then I'm going to actually tell you what I'll do to speed things up a little bit is I'm going to copy this append and new line character into the buffer. And I could put some greeting on here like from Plant Places Administration, something like that, but I think we get the idea. So I'm going to say return string equals, just a moment, return string equals sb.toString. Okay. And you see return string, that's the guy who's getting returned down here. If the return string, if the incoming message is empty, then it's just going to say nothing. It's not going to have anything here. We probably should do an else part, as a matter of fact. If the incoming message is empty, we'll say return string equals no plant added, or no plant information, something like that, just to cover that case where something gets submitted that's empty. Now, instead of return email plus return string, I'm going to say details of new plant added. And again, we will put a return character in there and save. So I'm going to go ahead, build, redeploy, and in just a moment, we'll see the results. I've deployed the app, and let's take a look at what happens when I add Quercus alba, white oak. We're going to hit submit, and in just a moment, we'll see a confirmation up on the right. But I check my email, and sure enough, take a look. Details of new plant added, genus Quercus, species alba, cultivar left blank, and common white oak. So you see that this is a dramatic improvement. It's not pretty just yet, don't get me wrong. We could still jazz it up. But it is a dramatic improvement over what we had last time, Acer rubrum freemonii, without any description around it. So we're doing what transformation should do. It's taking from a source, putting to a destination, but the transformation in the middle is going from a very generic look and feel to a look and feel that is formatted for that destination. So very simple, easy to do, didn't take too long. I hope this video has been helpful. And let me know what else you want to know about Camel. I look forward to making some more videos about this. Thank you.